Fala rapaziada, Bruno Borges da Brasil Bodybuilding News na área. Já vai deixando aquele like no vídeo e bora para as notícias de hoje. E amigos, bora começar esse vídeo de hoje falando rapidamente sobre o EDVAN Palmeiro, o Ed, que recentemente mostrou seu shape faltando 14 semanas para sua próxima competição e chamou a atenção de todo mundo o nível de condicionamento do Ed, faltando 14 semanas para o show. Ele que vem de um top 5 Olímpia e ele quer garantir a sua vaga para o Olímpia de 2025, onde vai tentar subir mais posições no maior show de fisiculturismo mundial. Agora dando um pulo na classe physique, Gabriel Zancanelli atualizou hoje à tarde, mostrando seu físico no duplo bíceps de frente após as 3 primeiras semanas de off-season com o Neil. O Zanca na legenda comentou que está bem feliz com esse off-season. Será que realmente vamos ver o Zanca trazendo uma evolução considerável no shape nos próximos anos? Vocês ainda colocam fé que o Zanca vai buscar uma vaga dentro do top 10 Olímpia? Deixem aí nos comentários. Falando em atletas top Olímpia, agora o papo é sobre Ramon Dino. Ramon que hoje soltou um vídeo novo lá no seu canal no YouTube e foi um vídeo muito legal, mostrando a sua rotina em um dia de treino. Mas não foi só a rotina da academia, e isso foi o que a galera elogiou bastante. O Ramon foi mostrando a sua rotina desde casa, falando com a galera em casa, mandando uma refeição e falando com a galera sobre seus próximos passos, além da resenha no carro antes de chegar ao CT. E isso é o que a galera sempre pediu mais do Ramon, uma maior aproximação com seus fãs, mostrando mais a sua rotina e mostrando mais os bastidores da sua vida. E isso mudou drasticamente em relação ao ano passado, onde víamos treino e treino e só isso. Agora estamos vendo o Ramon mais como um ser humano, entre aspas, e isso naturalmente causa uma maior aproximação com o público. Neste vídeo, o Ramon também passa algumas informações interessantes sobre as suas próximas fases. Ele comenta que ainda não iniciou o off-season de fato, mas que o Acita e o Pacho estão organizando o próximo protocolo. Em breve ele vai começar. Neste vídeo ele manda um treino de pernas com o Nescau, porque o Pacho não estava em SP naquele dia. E o Nescau, por ser um cara que já treina aí há 10 anos com o Pacho, é um homem de confiança do Pacholock para puxar os treinos do Ramon quando ele não estiver. Mas e aí amigos, quais são suas expectativas para o Ramon em 2025? Vem o título da classe physique este ano? Comentem aí. E bora terminar os temas do vídeo de hoje falando sobre uma análise de um árbitro gringo sobre o Ramon em uma entrevista bem legal do nosso colega do canal BR Bodybuilding. E para quem quiser ver completo, o link está aqui na descrição. Ele falou sobre o Ramon contra o Livinho, um duelo que chamou a atenção no ano passado, onde algumas pessoas acham que Livinho ganhou algumas poses do Dino e poderia ter sido campeão. E o árbitro fez grandes críticas às poses do Ramon. Deem só uma olhada.
From the bicep, what do you think, Paul?
Yeah, I'm gonna shit on Ramon's posing here a little bit. I just feel like he could bring those arms up a bit more, open up the lats a bit more there. I love what he's doing with his waist there and his stomach, bringing that in, drawing it in. He still shows great detail in the vacuum. Even the legs, like I don't really like the one leg turned out, one leg straight look like that. Like it works for some people, but I think if you're going to do that, you should add a bit of a twist to the hips too in order to kind of lean into that pose a little bit. So I think that pose could be Ramon's if he hits it a little bit differently. Niall's waist, stands out in that lineup so much because it's just so ridiculous. But again, I still think Niall needs a little bit more maturity, a little bit more details to the physique, to the quads, to the chest, to the arms. I'm sorry, what's the gentleman's, what's his name?
Livinho.
I'm sorry, what is it?
Livinho.
Livino?
Yeah, Livinho. Yeah.
To me, he looks like that pose. We're good shape, size, taper, balance, conditioning. I, in my opinion, from this picture at least, I think he's got that pose out of those top three.
Yeah, me too. I'm sorry for the other guy, but I'll put our in front of him because
I had my camera zoomed, so I kind of had to.
Yeah, it's not that I'm not talking about you, but we are going with the top 3 guys here. So
yeah, he's a lankier physique. I think he needs to fill it out a bit more.
Yeah, he's great, but they're top Olympian guys.
Dude, these are some of the top guys in the world right here.
Yeah.
This pose, it's hard to see as very clearly with the lighting there, but Ramon standing out in that pose to me.
Yeah, let me get a better a better click because LIVINHO was not in the pose yet. Yeah, okay, okay.
Okay. I'll bet you in person that's probably a different story. LIVINHO looks like he's pretty thick and conditioned in that pose. It's much different than watching it on a video screen like this. It is in person, obviously, but in the picture alone, Ramon's standing out to me here with the lines and the separation of the lower body, thickness through the chest and delts and arms. I think he could bring that chest up a little bit higher to enhance that pose a bit more, maybe drop the arms a little bit to show his taper a bit more. But he stands out to me in that pose.
Yeah, I think that many guys do this. They hit the pose and then they want to hit a variation. But I feel like that if you have a good pose, you don't have to do any variations. You just stay there, and the eyes goes to you.
Right.
If you are moving around all the time, how do you expect to be judged? I mean, I can't even pause the pose, right? Because they move so fast. So
yeah.
I feel like guys don't understand really that it's not about showing all the tools you've got. It's just about hitting your best shot and staying there.
Yeah, I agree. It's not like how many poses you can get in a couple seconds. It's what your physique looks best in that pose, hitting it and staying there so you can take it in and look at it and analyze it. I agree. Yeah, you see it a lot of the side tricep and the abdominal and quad. You see those two poses a lot where people will transition to two different poses and they don't hold either one very long, not long enough at least for your physique to be analyzed.
Yeah, I think that it's in an individual routine.
Yeah.
It's okay, like you can do as you please. I do like more the Ed Corning style of posing, like slow. When you hit, you stay there a couple of seconds. I think it's prettier to look at, but I do understand when it's a routine, you have your freedom to do it, right? But if it's the mandatories, if you are in a call out, why are you moving so much?
I agree. Right? And I wouldn't be surprised to see at some point in time where that may become more of a rule too. Because I know, like Tyler's pointed out to it last year, he touched on it with the side tricep. He made it like a lot of guys were hitting that variation of the side tricep. That's more or less a front pose. And Tyler made it so that, it was mandatory. You must hit the side pose first, and then you could transition to the front pose if you'd like. But the reason why he wanted you to hit the side tricep pose first is because that's what the pose is supposed to be. So he wanted to make sure that was in that rule now, like you have to hit it that way first. So, but I don't personally see the benefit of the transition because I have a hard time believing that anybody looks better in a front side tricep than in an actual side tricep. If it's purely a flexibility issue, I kind of understand that. But to me, that front side tricep pose doesn't look good on anybody. Because you're not showing taper. Yeah, I mean, you're showing muscularity for sure. I get that. You're showing detail, but those other poses are for showing that. This is for showing the detail and the balance of the side of that side pose. So I'd like to see that become more of a hard rule.
Yeah, me too. I feel like it's not. I saw Steve Weinberg went to Fuad's podcast recently, and he was talking about how you need to give the athletes some freedom because each physique is going to look better a certain way, and they should be allowed to move differently and hit the poses differently. But I feel like you cannot compare it well enough, right? If you have one guy doing one thing and the other guy doing another thing, well, I'm not looking at the same. I can't make a call based on that. So I don't think that it's a matter of you are taking out the athlete's freedom. No, I think that you are just making it more fair.
Yeah, no, I think that's an excellent point you made. If you want to compare that pose properly with each physique on that stage, and they need to be hitting the pose the same, or at least somewhat the same. There might be slight variations the way you hold your legs, whatever the case may be, but one shouldn't be doing a side tricep and one shouldn't be doing a front side tricep. Like, that's not a fair comparison in my opinion.
Yeah.
You get it too with the abdominal and quad, right? Because you get some guys who they'll do the two hands over the head, crunch the abs, but then they'll transition to one side with
especially the guys with thicker midsection, right?
Yeah, and I get it. They're playing to their strengths, muscularity, but that pose should be, again, about balance, taper, and conditioning.
Yeah. Okay, so just to don't go off where we were before, I think the two there were like side two shots. There was the front double and the side chest. Side
Okay.
chest to Ramon, and front double you said it was Livinho, the shorter guy, right?
Yeah. Yeah. Based on these photos, at least, yes.
Yeah. Okay, let's go to the back shots.
It's hard to see a lot of detail in that picture there.
Yeah, the shadows, like the lighting is definitely very off.
Yeah. But just going by what I can see here, Niles, I think, again, beautiful shape, but I think needs a little bit more size on those lats, a little bit more density to those lats to fill out the physique more. Ramon, I feel like, is leaning back a little bit too much in that pose, and I feel like he's losing some taper by doing so. I think if he were to stand up a little bit straighter, he would show a little more lower lat, and that would bring out his taper better in that pose. LIVINHO there, though, again, I think he's the most complete in that pose, and it looks like he's not fully into the pose there yet. It looks like I think he's still got a little bit more opening up to go there yet.
Okay, I think he opened a bit more.
Yeah, maybe
not everything yet, but I feel like.
But out of those three on that stage, at least, I think he looks the most complete to me there. Again, it's pretty dark shadows, but it looks to me like he's the most complete there. A little bit the best back development out of the three, at least in that pose. Again, with Ramon standing up more, maybe a different story. But you can see the detail and the thickness in his back. The balance through the quads, hamstrings, glutes, and nice shape. Big arms, big delts. Just by this picture alone, I would go with him, Levito, on that show.
E é isso aí, rapaziada, por hoje é só, esperamos que vocês tenham curtido o vídeo, já vai deixando aquele like, sempre ajuda muito na divulgação do vídeo, se inscreva no canal ativando o sininho e, é claro, deixem suas opiniões sobre o vídeo. Tamo junto, rapaziada, e até o próximo!